do have two videos. One is an old school that came across today that I'm gonna play, and then the other one is something that's a little bit more recent. So here we go.
One of every three marriages in this country, black or white, ends in a divorce in 18 months. Now, you see, it used to be if you got divorced, something was wrong with you. But when you have a stat this high, something must be going on in society. I now want to explain what that is. When America believed in agriculture, America believed in extended family. When America believed in the factory, industrialism, America believed in the nuclear family. But now that America believes in the computer, now America believes in a single-parent family. Make sure you see my analysis. When the economy changed, the family structure changed. There was more than love in these relationships. There was some money involved here. Our grandparents worked the fields together, had economic reason to stay together, and so they did. In a factory, man works in a factory, woman takes care of children. Economic reason, again, to stay together. But in this new economy, where you now have women working just as much, if not more than men, you now hear women telling men, I don't need you, got my own job. Do what I want to do, when I want to do it. And we are now doing it very well, and by ourselves. You know the #1 song in America a couple years ago, ain't nothing going on but the rent. If you want to be with me, you got to have a J-O-B. It's all about money. All about money. When the economy changed, the family structure changed. And so now we have a lot of people making plenty of money and lonely.
So I do have another video to play, and he's coming from a different angle as to why marriages are failing. I'm going to play this.
Everything you found out up to that wedding day is just what got you to the altar. Everything you about to say I do to is what you don't know. So this is why more than 50% of the marriages end in divorce, because they have no idea that the commitment they're making is not to what they do know about this person. It's what they don't know about this person.
Damn.
Okay.
Who put the Kevin Hart damage?
Did you guys get that? You want to play that last one again? Y'all got it? One more time? Here we go.
Everything you found out up to that wedding day is just what got you to the altar. Everything you about to say I do to is what you don't know. So this is why more than 50% of the marriages end in divorce, because they have no idea that the commitment they're making is not to what they do know about this person. It's what they don't know about this person.
Damn.
Damn. So what do you guys thoughts about that? I mean, the first video we always hear that's why it's failing, because women want to be more independent. This second one has like a unique twist. I don't think a lot of people actually think about that. They want everything on the front end, not realizing that marriage is an everyday working thing. Like relationships are, it's an everyday working thing, especially in marriage. You know, it doesn't stop there. A lot of things you're gonna discover. It's impossible to figure out every single thing about a person on the front end. But let's talk about it. This is why marriages fail. What are you guys' thoughts in reference to the videos that we just seen, and just whatever you want to add? I'll go ahead and start with let's start with you first, Hank.
All right. To me, it's just now a lot of the ladies don't respect the man, don't understand the man, and don't appreciate a man. And unfortunately, like the guy said, a lot of ladies' jobs allow them to make a certain amount of income where they don't feel the value of the man was only a check, and if now as I'm getting the bag, I don't need him no more. He's not as important to me unless I'm trying to reproduce. But even that, they can go to a bank and get that and pretty much decide on what type of child they want. You know, it's just unfortunate. This is just the way it is right now. That a lot of ladies don't value a man. Now you have some women out there who still hold on. They understand the value of a man. They respect the value of a man, but it's not enough. Because then they wouldn't look at them as just a check and a check only. They will look at them as so much more. You understand what I'm saying? I wish a lot of these more ladies was homeowners. Because as a homeowner, there's some things you got to do around the house that a lady just doesn't want to do.
Ow.
So one of them is yard work. A lot of ladies don't want to do yard work. I know a few that do, but most of they don't. They don't have to go out there and cut the grass, put gas in the lawnmower, fill up. You know, they don't want to have to deal with that. Rake leaves,
A
trim,
flood,
But
dealing with a flood,
busted pipe.
knowing how to turn the water off.
They don't know where the main water valve shut off is. They have no idea there's two. They don't know. They just think I just go to the sink, turn off it. Everything's no. It's not how it is. Now, as a homeowner, you have to deal with all of those. I can't call my landlord and say, "Hey, Miss Landlord, I need to put a work order in to get this fixed." No. You your own landlord. You your own repairman. Now, what you can do, you call somebody up, but he may not be there for 2 or 3 days. So now you in holding. Now you on the waiting list. Oh no, that ain't what you wanted. Here, it ain't what you want. You want it immediately. But guess what? If you had that man, that husband in the house, he may not know how to fix it. But guess what he's willing to do? He's willing to try. He has a network of individuals. Oh, I got a guy as a plumber. I got a guy as an electrician. I got as a HVAC man. We're gonna get all this taken care of. Or guess what he'll do? He'll go in further. I'll try to fix it myself. I'm gonna log up on YouTube and see what I can find out and do them. That's what I do. But see, they don't appreciate that. Not till tragedy comes. Again, when you go to the airport on them trips, them girl trips, they nice, they good. But then when you got to pick up that 70-pound bag up off that roller, it doesn't feel right. Because you done came back, bought you a couple of bottles of liquor, maybe a little left-hand cigarette or two, you know. Doesn't feel right. You have to deal all that. You go out there, your car don't start. Oh, shit, now you need to get your man to go out there check that battery. Or you might even want him to warm your car up in the morning. Scrape it off when it's cold outside. You don't want to get out there on the street and deal with that. Nah, you don't deal with that. And that's even for you ladies who live in apartments. Y'all might have to deal with that because you don't have some garage you keep your car in. So little things like that, man, it should allow you to appreciate your man. So when you go grocery shopping and you tell your husband, could you go out there and get their groceries? He's right there carrying all 10 or 12 bags you got. You understand what I'm saying? When you need things done around the house, it's done. When you need to have somebody just to vent to, he's there. Your girlfriend ain't gonna tell you the real, but your husband will. He gonna keep it honest with you. You may not like it, but he gonna keep it honest with you. So when I feel like when ladies start to appreciate what men bring and the value that we really have more than just a paycheck, they would understand that protection, that security. You come home late at night and that porch light is on, and you know your man's right there waiting on you to make sure you got in the house okay, to make sure you was good and good. You know what I'm saying? You went out with your ladies, had a good time, but you come home, he's right there for you. Whether to take care of your physical needs or your emotional needs.
Hey, Hank, can you answer that second video too? Do you recall that one when he was saying that?
Yeah, I could do that. Now the second video, that I agree, because sometimes you don't know what you get. Now I know Balance said she doesn't believe in dating, and I understand that, but I believe in that dating process, there's a lot of things you can learn. In that courting process, there's a lot of things you can learn. I'm a man. I don't believe in living with an individual before I get married, so I don't believe in that because I believe we all need our own space. But at the same time, I don't have no problem with you, spending the weeks, a month or so with me, so I can have an idea how you move, how you live, how you take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Even when I'm not around, I'm gonna roll up on your house while you're not there. I got a key. Just like you got presidents. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'm gonna roll up just to see what it looks like. I don't want to see about you getting shit cleaned up all of a sudden because I'm coming through. No. I want to know what's going on while I ain't there. When you don't expect me. I need to know all this. But that's just Hank.
All right, brother Hank.
Right on.
Coach K, what are your thoughts about the videos? Particularly about the second one, because I know the first one we hear a lot too often, but when it comes to the second video, go ahead.
So he says, the things that you have seen are what got you to the altar. And I don't think it's possible. I mean, you can, as much as you want, talk about everything. And I think you should have a lot of conversations. about, oh, sorry. I think you should have a lot of conversations to figure out those good, let me start over, to figure out the topics that are important to you. And I saw Jordan Peterson last weekend, and he said something that I thought was really interesting, because he brings his wife on stage. And he said that you don't just mentally note it. If you're thinking about it, you need to bring it up, because some things are silly. Like, that's something I worked on the most, was when, if I had an issue with something and I knew it was silly, I would drop it. But if it's something that you have an issue with and it happens every day, you might not bring it up because you think it's small, it's trivial, but it's not trivial if it repeats every single day. You need to talk about it and you need to figure it out. I think he says something along the lines of, it's, what do you want? What are you thinking? Let's figure it out. It's better for us to figure it out than to do it alone. Like, are we better together figuring this out than doing it alone by ourselves? And one last thing, he says that with marriage, because someone asked him about, cohabitating and being, living together when you're not married. He said that, how can you show them your true self if they can still run away? He said, which of course I understand, like, men's, fears about marriage. So not negating that. But he said, it's kind of like when you're in that position, that other person is, they'll do for now until someone better comes along. I thought that was really interesting. But when you make the commitment with conditions, well, I guess there are still conditions if you're not in a marriage, but regardless, you're all in. You have to show everything. I mean, there's skin in the game then, but I don't know. That's all I got right now.
All right. Balance. What are your thoughts? This is why marriages fail.
Yeah. Like I was saying, people are looking at the now instead of the longevity. I say all the time, what you want at 20 and 30 is not what you're going to want at 40, 50, 60, the rest of your life. People don't account for that. They're only looking at what I want today. And if it's based off of superficial things, it's like, this person looks good, I want this for today. That'll change over time. That's why I always talk about character and integrity, because that's who you are. And that's what's going to last long term. If you're not choosing someone based off of those things, it's not going to last, period. So, but you have to have it yourself, right? So you have to be a person of character and integrity to look for that in someone else. And those are the relationships that sustain long term. And hopefully you guys have a goal, like a joint goal that you're both working towards, and you could do it together. That's also something that will bond you together for a long time. You know what I mean? Like, I have my long-term goals, and then I want a man who also has long-term goals, and we could see if it coincides, right? If it makes sense. Because if it doesn't, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, if we don't both want to build legacy and do all these things together for our family, we're just wasting time with each other. We're just passing time together, having fun, entertainment. A lot of relationships are based off of entertainment, and they don't take marriage as seriously as they should, relationships as seriously as they should. Having children, like, that's so important. I don't understand how people could just have children with anyone. I'm so confused with the whole dynamic. That's a whole nother story, but who you have children with is extremely important, and it's going to matter for a very long time. So don't do it so loosely. Like, that's a big deal too. So, I mean, it's all of these dynamics that go together that I think we need to pay more attention to and stop being so superficial. I'm telling you, if I DMs that I get based off of superficial things, it's ridiculous. And if I was a person that cared about money, people talk a lot about gold diggers, right? If I was a person that was a gold digger and cared about money, y'all would not see me. I would have my millions on a jet somewhere, on a yacht somewhere. Y'all would not see me, okay? So I'm telling the truth, JR. You would not see me. So basically what I'm saying, because if I answer these DMs, there's some blue check, there's a lot of people in there, but I'm not focusing on superficial things. I'm not focusing on things that's going to fade.
Oh, really?
Yes, really. People could have money today, lose it tomorrow. I know a lot of people that had money and now they don't. So, I mean, you got to really look at who the person is, character, integrity, things that matter, joint goals. And I'm going to leave it there because, I could talk on and on about that, but I'll leave it right there.
Okay. Said a whole lot there. Luis, what are your thoughts, sir? This is why marriages fail.
I'm going to address the first video, and I thought the first video was very interesting and very telling. I did see it before. When economies change, so do relationship dynamics, right? We value the extended family, the nuclear family, and now it's the single, independent individual or woman in this case, right? And I am curious to know where we're heading now in this AI future, right? Where AI is now going to be at the center of everything. Everything is automated, from your car wash to your food to the things that even your home. Soon enough, you're gonna be able to purchase a full AI person that does your cooking, your cleaning, your laundry, and all these other automated items, right? So you can stay focused and stay working and don't have to worry about all these small trivial things that tend to kind of get in the way of life, right? So what would those relationship conversations now when you have a CP3 4000 in your house and be like, I got a CP3 4000 that cooks, that cleans, does my laundry. What do you bring to the table? Or what do you have to offer, right? I have it all, essentially. And sort of, I think at that point, that's that turning point of where we have something that facilitates all the small necessities of our lives, right? The laborious sort of chores, right? And sort of now, if everything is equilibrium and we remove all those role dynamics, right? What are we really attracted to each other about? Is it money now, or is there going to be a different type of currency? And I think that at that point, if we give people that sort of level of egalitarian, I think that the currency there becomes your personality. I think it has to become, because if you're both equally yoked and all these things are just kind of exported, I think that people will need to really invest in their personality, to be socially calibrated. And unfortunately, that is really what's lacking, because to kind of jump point to the next video, I think that people are far more picky about the places that they elect to go eat at, in the food that they elect to go eat, than they are about the people that they sleep with, and the food, more picky than the people they elect to sleep with, and elect to have children with as well. People are far more picky about all those other, surface level things that we tend to kind of praise about on social media, versus the underlining things that really are important. And I think that those have, really come to the surface, and it's really, really telling. So to kind of get to the later part of the second video is that I think it's about grit. People have to really know what they're getting into and have those tough conversations in the beginning about expectations, about, time expectation. How much time do you want to spend together? What do vacations like? How are we going to raise these children? You know what I'm saying? Are they going to have what type of faith-based background, right? Those are the conversations that need to have, right? What is your sexual expectations? You know what I'm saying? Do you have a high sex drive? What are your preferences, right? Because far often I tend to hear on various different platforms and background, people are much more willing to share their body than they are to share the most intimate, deepest thoughts of their mind. And it is so benign to me that we have gotten that far from grace that we're not able to share the person that we're electing to put ourselves in a predicament whether we might get a disease or even have a baby with, right? that we won't even share what's brewing in the back of our mind, and it's really telling. And hopefully that, you know, with a series of these conversations, people really start coming to the table, not about what they bring, but what they are intending with.
That, can I say, that was spot on, Louis. That was, you just touched on so many good things, and that reminds me, with the advancements in technology and just economically, as humans, we have not caught up as far as our evolution goes. We are still in the survival state. Well, we shouldn't be, but we are, where we want that instant gratification. You know, if we're uncomfortable, we're thinking it's danger, when really we're not about to die. We're just like uncomfortable that someone's like making fun of us in the chat or something like that, you know? And we're still thinking about the now versus, which we have it covered. We have food, we have shelter, but we're not thinking about the, you know, delaying the gratification and the future. And we're making those, you know, decisions on those knee-jerk reactions, and that's only hurting us. So it's like we have the capacity to desire so much more with our prefrontal cortex, but everything else it's just making it so much easier that it's like it's not even forcing us to grow. Like, we don't have to. Well, you will if you don't meet your goals and things like that. You're really going to be uncomfortable, and that's going to make you wake up. It'll probably be too late. But as humans, we haven't met where technology is at, if that makes sense. We haven't evolved. So that's it.
Okay. Go ahead. Jay came off the mic.
No, I think one thing I've always thought was endurance. You know, acknowledging that somebody, you're gonna hate somebody, you're gonna really, you'll love them, but you're not gonna like them a lot. And how to bounce back from that, you know, how to go from almost looking at somebody as like an enemy in a relationship, or looking at them as, you know, just a person you can't stand, but how to bounce back from that, or how to build up the endurance to make it past that time where you feel like that. You know, a lot of times, you know, I've never been married, never no attempts, but you know, viewing my parents, you know, my parents were separated at one point when I was younger, and I just watched, you know, how that happened. I was the result, you know, and stuff that I dealt with older was the result of that separation, you know, but they had endurance, you know, and maybe that was something that was instilled, you know, back in that day where, you know, you stuck it out, and then they got to the time, you know, where they're approaching 80 years old, and you know, it's kind of about sitting around watching TV, laughing, doctor's appointments, you know, companionship, versus we don't really see that far. When we get in these situations, you know, we cut it off because everybody, for the most part, makes it seem like you have to be happy. Every day has to be just the best day ever. And that's just not reality. You know, I think the expectations for marriage and what people present marriage to be is just incorrect, you know, and it's misleading. So you have these people, I know females that literally have told me that they knew they weren't supposed to be in the marriage on the night of the what's the
Bachelorette? Don't say the Bachelorette.
No, not the when you go on your trip after the wedding.
The honeymoon.
The honeymoon. Yes, man. She told me this, and I'm just like, damn. She had gotten married. They was on the honeymoon, and she knew. She was like, yo. So now she's sitting there like, how am I gonna get out of this? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's my exit strategy? Like, she just knew. And you have a lot of people like that. You know, there's a host of people that are literally in marriages that they weren't supposed to be in, should not have ever gotten into, rushed into, whatever the case may be. But, you know, for the dynamic of people who've done it the right way, who love each other, who are compatible, you know, equally yoked, you're still going to go through those adversities. You know what I mean? So you have to
Hey, Jay, that message for you.
Why Jay talking sexy? Yeah, I'll slow it down for you.
Oh.
But
Look, this ain't after hours. Come on now. Normal speed, normal speed.
Nah. But nah, I think it's endurance.
Precious, you know we heathens.
Yeah, we all heathens. It's a seducing spirit on Jay. I appreciate that. No. But nah, I think it's endurance. Knowing that you're gonna feel an adverse reaction to circumstances for a period of time, how to bounce back from them. And hopefully you and the person love each other enough to have the respect to work your way back together. You know.
I have a question for you, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
So you were saying, well, first, do you want to be married?
Yes, I do.
Why do you think that you've never attempted marriage at this point? Do you think it's because you haven't found the woman, or you weren't willing to when you were younger? Like, you personally, what's your reason for not being married yet?
I found them and lost them.